Hi TJ, we are live, and this time it was a streamless. No, StreamYard was seamless. Absolutely. I can give myself a pat on the back for getting more professional, and my family, my husband and my son who've been helping me.
So
So
nice
you
to see you
was
again, Archana.
Yeah, great to see you. And how's it going?
It is going about as good as it gets in these days, obviously. Um, so I'm here in San Francisco. So it has obviously been through its surges in COVID, down, back, but now slowly the state has started to open up. I hope things are good in India.
Uh, Not really good. We've had the biggest spike of 13,400 or something yesterday. So it's actually going from bad to worse, but I guess we all have to ride that wave, right? And there is no way
True,
out.
absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
these are, in that way, sobering times, Archana. These are also very interesting times, bringing out so many different parts of humanity and our individual personalities. But
Yeah.
so looking forward to talk to you today.
I know. And I know you have a lot of information to share with everybody. Let's start. It's 6-1, and I think we should start.
Sure.
It's a great time to start now. So, welcome, Tejinder. We have 500,000 people who've died globally of COVID 19, and there have been 10 million confirmed cases all over the world. Uh, so many countries, including India, don't have enough testing kits. Perkin Elmer, with an Indian CEO, is the only unique Fortune 500 company in healthcare, providing life saving screen tests and diagnostic solutions. They deliver unique solutions and high precision scientific tests for better detection and imaging of various diseases and viruses. Currently, Perkin Elmer is actively involved in designing and delivering products to address the testing as well as disease research and drug discovery needs for COVID 19 worldwide. Hello, everybody. You are in conversation with Archana Malhotra. In Conversation is a platform of learning and sharing about human values, growth, and global impact. We plan to bring for you achievers and change makers from different professions to share their knowledge and expertise. Our guest today has extensive experience in high technology and healthcare industry, managing technology transfers, service, and operations. After having worked with companies like ABB, Genpact, and GE Healthcare in America and Asia, he joined Perkin Elmer as Senior Vice President, Global Operations, including manufacturing, supply chain, customer care, and distribution. A very passionate photographer, an extremely keen poker player, and a very close friend, Mr. Tajinder Vohra. Welcome to In Conversation, Tajinder.
Archana, thank you so much. As I said, always a pleasure.
So I will start with the questions. And the first question, which I was also discussing with you, vaccination is still around a year away. The world needs testing kits in abundance. So, what, according to you, is the future of testing for COVID 19?
So, first of all, thank you so much for assuming I know a lot about COVID. These are things which you just started to learn over the last few months. Um, so, I can give you some sense about what I've seen, what I think. It doesn't necessarily mean that is exactly how things are panning out or will pan out. But what is our biggest concern right now? If you see, you can divide into a few things as to what we need to do. The first, Archana, is can we test? Is it accurate? Very important. Is it accurate? There's one thing about testing, another thing about being able to be comfortable that the result makes sense. So that's the testing part. This is where you're testing for the presence or absence of the virus. Do we have the disease or not? First. Then the second piece is in past did I get the disease and now has my body developed a response to that? That's the second piece. Then the other two pieces are God forbid if I have it, are there medicine and drugs to take care of me? And the fourth and the most important piece eventually is going to be can I get a vaccine so I can be immune towards this? So the best way to think about it is these four things: testing for disease, testing for antibodies, drugs to take care of if you get it, and vaccinations to prevent it. I hope that made sense.
Absolutely, absolutely makes sense. And we are still on the first two stages, I
I
guess.
think I think worldwide, look, this is it is a terrible time, literally for humanity. But we should not underestimate the ingenuity of human nature too, to try to find solution for all four of them. So at this moment, there are so many companies worldwide, so many academic institutions, governments, which are working on all four of them simultaneously. See, I firmly believe so far as human beings, we have conquered pretty much most of the diseases or
Yeah.
managed them. We'll do that too. When and
Abs-
how, yes, it's highly dependent on how companies are working about this piece, but I do believe it should still happen.
Tell me, Tajinder, considering the large population of India, we are still short of testing kits. Have you supplied any kits to India so far?
Yes, Perkin-Elmer also started supplying. I think by now we have already almost supplied almost 1 million test kits. So these are for testing for the coronavirus. Um, and there are a lot of other companies also supplying. And in each country, just given the sheer volume of population, there are shortages, there's no doubt. And almost every government, including in India, they're trying to bring as many kits as possible, take it to the people as many as possible. But we are actively involved in that, in providing the Perkin-Elmer's test kits.
So, well, now we all know that the PCR test or the polymer chain reaction test is common and it takes a day to give us the result. And IgG test, on the other hand, gives almost instant results like a pregnancy test and is able to detect the COVID-19 antibodies in our body to determine our capacity to fight the virus. And they say IgG testing is the future for humans, especially when we want to travel. So, when should we
Mhm.
expect these tests to be available freely?
So let me, if you allow me to separate out your question in two parts, what it is and when should we expect, and what kind and how quickly those tests can be available. The first is you mentioned PCR. Right? PCR is a test in which you detect for the virus of COVID virus. Uh, Today, typically, when you send the samples to the lab, it can take what day or so, sometimes slightly earlier, but there is some time involved. Actually, for one simple reason, this needs a professional to take the sample, and you need to run this on some pretty sophisticated instruments. You get good results, right? So that is PCR test. Now, more and more companies, academic institutions worldwide, all over worldly, are now working on solutions in which you do two things. One is instead of testing for virus, you test for the antigen. What does that mean? All it means is that we'll be able to test very quickly, literally within few minutes. So visualize you and I are going to an airport to board a flight or maybe go to a big theater someplace. You can literally, within a matter of few minutes, test whether you have the coronavirus or not, which is very powerful. It allows people to screen out those who have it and isolate themselves. And as a lot of companies are working on this. Now, in question of how quickly, actually, what is happening is that there's clearly an urgency towards this all over the world, but there's also a little bit of sense that we should make sure these are accurate. And there's some really good government agencies who are trying to make sure that the test makes sense. So it's a function of how quickly companies can produce it and launch it. If you ask my opinion, I can't tell you the exact date and time, but the way all of the world's, all the different companies have responded, I would say these are more in matter of, I'll say, few months rather than few years.
Yeah, we are really in need, no doubt about that. And I would also like to add in here that viruses will come and go, but the human attitude of gratitude, of creating abundance in the present, is what we need to stick by. We need to stick by the rules, of course, to have the right attitude to fight the situation and help each other get by, no matter what. So, for our audience, please type in your queries in the comment section below. And if you're finding today's talk useful, please give us a thumbs up as we proceed on. Tajinder, can you please share some interesting research happening in your company which can actually change the future of mankind? It'll be
So,
interesting to know.
so obviously, one is like most of the companies in this space, we feel good that we are able to contribute towards the fight against coronavirus. And hence, I said that we have been making and shipping all over the world test kits, allows us to respond to this piece. And we'll continue to do a lot more research. We'll continue to launch a lot more products on the space. So that is one aspect. But if you see really what PerkinElmer does, we look after what can we do to contain infectious diseases. What can we do about maternal fetal health? Pregnant women, how do they make sure that the baby is born safe and healthy? The other piece that we do a lot is to make products that helps pharma companies to develop drugs. Other piece that we do, which is very key to us, is food testing.
Yeah.
See, food is an important thing for all of us. At the end, it's the most essential thing. Is it the right quality? Does it have all the right nutrients? Does it have some pesticides in them? We do that, which we feel good about. That's something that we use in a daily life. We have had instances all over the world in terms of food, milk, anything getting contaminated, adulterated. How do you quickly find it? How do you quickly find it before your own families kind of get access to the? So that's the other piece that we do quite a bit in our companies. So if you say narrow it down simply, what do? We can literally find any kind of element, any kind of contaminant in anything. So now it's a question of where you want to use it, how do you use it. So it's food, it's pharma, it's diagnostic, health. That's what we do, Archana. I feel very proud of that.
So you were talking about tests on pregnant women, and amniocentesis test for pregnant women helps to detect any abnormalities in the fetus. It's expensive, invasive, and raises the risk of miscarriage. And it's banned in India because of prenatal sex determination, which is banned. What's PerkinElmer doing regarding this and as regards expectant women's health?
Ah,
You shared some,
excellent
yeah,
question.
but
So, and Archana, please do stop me if I start to get too technical. We live and breathe this, so we tend to start talking more in technical. So, what we did, that's another piece we are so proud of is amnio is a very invasive process. There's no doubt, right? Um, we have a product, right? NIPT, non-invasive pregnancy test, in which with blood draw from a pregnant woman, from an expectant mom, we can determine if there are any abnormalities. So again, the elegance and the power of this piece is it totally does away with any kind of invasive test. It's so much easier to do where you are just taking the blood only from the pregnant mother, and there are a host of diseases you can identify and you can do something with it. So this was launched just a year ago and so, and we feel very good about that. Of course, there are a lot of other companies doing these kind of space. It's always good to see is that multiple companies, whether it's competition, government, and so they all are right now working towards generally health, women health all over the world. And of course, the baby's being born.
so, what about stem cell therapy? You do a lot of testing there also.
What we do is storage. So when a
Storage.
baby is born, we actually do the storage. We have a full division in PerkinElmer, which is there for a long time, which is the storage. Now, of course, there are so many other companies, then they'll actually use this if, God forbid, something happens later in child to be able to use and have access to that. But that is our one main part of the business.
Awesome. Someday we are going to sit over it with a
Yes,
drink
definitely.
and ask more questions. Fortunately, I'm over that stage, so not for me. So, PerkinElmer has been very active in testing of the Ebola, SARS, and some other life-threatening viruses. How much time does it take to develop these tests?
Okay, no, so this is a great question, Archana. I think if you allow me to also speak in context of COVID and of course all the other diseases. See, at the end, a lot of the diseases are viral diseases, and the trick is, can you find a virus? So you're literally taking this tiny little virus, breaking open the shell, finding the DNA or the RNA, and identifying it. Now, whether it's Ebola, it's SARS, it's COVID, and so that's secondary. You can find it. Uh, but it is a complicated, involved process. And the important piece, if you don't notice always, is how to make sure it is accurate, how to make sure that you can trust the results. So if you say, tell me what causes the speed to be what it is, days, weeks, months, Archana is based on two things. How quickly you can develop the test, identify the RNA or DNA of the virus, find the right reagents to identify and make the test. The second is the government agencies worldwide who must approve it and test it. So something very interesting happened during COVID. See, we always look at the challenges COVID presented. Right? We should also see what it did as a positive thing to the humanity. So it didn't matter whether there was a competitor, it didn't matter whether there was a supplier, it didn't matter there was a government agencies. Everyone said, let's try to get this done quicker. So one is the reason why so many companies could launch COVID product, Archana, is that everyone in this ecosystem, it didn't matter. I was so humbled and sobered by the fact that whether it was competition, supplier, government agencies, we didn't see any slowdown. In fact, they found creative and unique ways to speed things up. So in all the cases, like what you mentioned, the earlier cases, we have been able to launch products, sometimes take 5, 6 months and so on, few months. You can imagine in case of COVID testing, within a matter of literally some weeks and months, tests start to come out. Maybe this will teach us how to be much faster in life also. So yes, we feel good about that, but also I will give a lot of credit to the full ecosystem of people we operate in. Hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. I remember you sharing that by Jan, you had the FDA results out also. And then you
So
could,
Archana, FDA obviously is the governing authority in the United States, and they have been working literally overnight trying to figure out how all different companies in this space can get approval quickly, but to ensure still whatever product is coming on the market is high quality, because unfortunately, in some cases, they happen instances where few products got launched by some companies inadvertently. So I think those agencies are very critical to ensure the quality makes sense. Same things happening in India. Same that government is trying very hard to make sure the quality is good. The last thing you want is people to start questioning whether the tests are good or not.
that's true. Right now, it seems like a dream to actually move around, travel, hug, party, and meet your friends and family. But I'm sure science and technology is once again going to provide the solution for all of us. On top of this is going to be our resilience and faith that we can persevere this, ride the storm, and come out as a survivor. Only a resolution to ourselves to be positive at all times, irrespective of any excuse, is going to help us and others around us. I want to also share a small story. I remember once a man threw a huge party, and while everyone was drinking and dancing and having a great time, a friend asked him, "What's the good news, and why did you suddenly throw such a big party?" He replied, "My new Mercedes Benz met with an accident yesterday, and it was completely damaged. That's why." This thoroughly confused the friend, and he goes, "Then is that a reason to celebrate? I mean, that your Mercedes Benz crashed against whatever and it got completely damaged." The man said, "Yes, of course. Nothing happened to the driver. I was the driver and I'm absolutely safe. I didn't have a single injury. And with a healthy life, I can make money and buy more of these materialistic things. But if something happens to me, with my own life at stake, I shall never be able to do anything. I'm fine, and that's why I'm happy. And this happiness is the celebration of blessings in life. And the more you have, the more you need to share and celebrate. And on that note, Tejinder, I know you have that personality to be able to adjust, enjoy anywhere, celebrate, and move on with life. So I want to ask you another question on that note, Tejinder. You, the CEO, and some of your team were earlier managing GE Healthcare here in India, and now you are all in America managing Perkin Elmer. And Perkin Elmer is, as I already said, the only healthcare Fortune 500 company. So, how's the life and work environment changed for you in US?
Hmm.
For
So that's
everybody, I want to just interrupt. For those who don't know, Tejinder stays in San Francisco. He moved recently with his family, and he's been working with Perkin Elmer for a long couple of years now. Yes, Tejinder.
But it's just two or three things you said. Each one of them kind of pretty powerful and interesting. First, let me start with the first one. I agree that we need to celebrate life. You'll say, well, that's an odd thing to say in time of coronavirus. I think coronavirus will making us truly value what friends were, what family were, what life was. Things that we used to take for granted that you mentioned. You realize when that is taken away, then you start to appreciate that so much that I cannot go out and meet friends and do this. Of course, slowly that's changing. But you're absolutely right that this crisis will come and go like so many crises. What do we learn? And I think, Archana, you're absolutely right. Let us learn how to celebrate life. And let us learn also to acknowledge that we as humans have more than enough strength to overcome any of those things. And the third piece is when crisis happens, people come together. Sometimes it's unfortunate that only a crisis brings people together, but we do come together. So I do want to acknowledge what you're saying is something that all of us. Now, regarding my life, yes, we have moved. I think this is the third or fourth time we've moved back and forth between different countries and so on. Few things obviously are so different, different cultures, different environment or everything. But a few things will never change. That at the end, you'll always direct towards your own family and friend. So, in terms of what has changed, I have moved back and forth personally so much. I was commuting for a while, literally between the two countries, and so that somehow, Archana, I feel we don't need to pick a place, and we don't need to pick one specific set of culture to say that is home. We are highly adaptable human beings. Both are possible. You can feel US to be home and you can feel India to be home. I don't see any contradiction in that. And that is not by creating a mini India and US or mini US and India. I think we can enjoy both. So I've really generally enjoyed the stay in both the places. Uh, Now, of course, what has happened is you could do that by traveling constantly. Now, air travel is not exactly the same that it was, but that also will change. So that is one piece that has kind of disrupted the life. You can't move back and forth that so much. But yeah, I generally value. The other pieces, I'm pretty sure you're going through the same thing. Suddenly, it's time for the whole family to stick together and spend a lot of time, which normally you don't do in your hectic life. That's what's happening with
Yeah.
all of us.
And you value them all the more. You do end up having all those fights and everything, but that's also a part of the game, and that actually kind of bonds you together, brings you together. And but again, we are all very adaptable, and that's a great point you said. And coming back to you, you've been one of the most adventurous persons I've ever met. You've relocated 4 times to US, came back thrice to India, and now of course back in US with family each time. How, I know you've always said that they both are home, India's home and America's home, but how do you manage it so seamlessly, so effortlessly? Just the thought of relocating anywhere will petrify me. I'm sure I've never thought of that, but
So I, I don't know how to answer that. Have we done it? Yes. Will we do it again? I don't think so. It's that big a deal. Uh, as I said, that I was just thinking of what you were asking, what made it comfortable. So the interesting thing is, other than the first time when I just left as a you know student, just moving to US for the first time, each time when we moved, Archana, there was always a sense, even though you're leaving some friends behind, you're going to some friends which are already there. So we always knew people on both the sides. That helps a lot. That you're going to a new place and suddenly your friends show up to welcome you. And I think that makes a big difference. It was never the physical aspect of the move, but it's always the emotional aspect of the move. So I think that's really what makes it simpler and easier to move around. And I think as a human being, Archana, we also crave a lot of intellectual and emotional stimulus all the time. And that we're just geared to do that. And every move does that. It's something new and different again. I think that also builds up some degree of excitement, new place, new environment, and so I guess that's what keeps us going.
You have your emotional stimulus. Your family is around, I know, although not all your friends are around. And intellectual stimulus, I'm going to come back to later. Not going to leave you on that one. Before that, I have seen some amazing sketches of yours. Your music collection is extraordinary, and your passion for photography. Oh my God, you're almost a professional at that. I mean, what do these hobbies help you de stress, relax?
So I think, Archana, that is it, that everything comes with a price. So most of these jobs are literally 24 hours and literally 24 hours all over the world of this. You're dealing with your team members and especially in a high stress environment, trying to launch COVID, this happens. Actually, you absolutely need something which can cause your mind to completely shift for a short period of time. And it has to be something you enjoy. I've always enjoyed sketching. Sketching I started almost 20 years ago. My father does really good sketches. One day I'll probably get to that same level. And yes, photography was something that I really liked because you can go to different parts of the world, take photographs, pictures, and so on. I said that is my one of the biggest ways of de-stressing in this fun, hectic life.
So we all need to find our passions and hobbies, and they not only help us to learn and grow, but also distract us, as we just discussed, when stress creeps into our lives, and then we manage and move on. My Let's go back to the audience. A lot of friends saying hi to us: Sheetal, Kapil, Payal, Ekta, and there are a couple of questions as well, Tajinder. So
Sure.
Anurag Malhotra is asking, is there any difference in levels of accuracy in both the methods of IgG and PCR?
That's a great question, by the way. That's really key question is, as I said, today, a lot of testing is happening on PCR, right? Polymerase chain reaction. PCR tends to be extremely accurate, though it takes some time. The antigen testing, which would be literally like a single strip of paper that can tell you, is extremely quick, but it does come with some level of compromise, I think, on accuracy. As time progresses, more and more companies launch it and they'll fine tune it, but there is some trade off from that perspective, surely.
So Gulraj Shahpuri is asking, what's the least time taken for the IgG tests, especially at airports and other places?
So, Gulaj, so
He
this
wants to
is,
travel, that's for sure.
Gulaj, take a private jet. You can do that.
Yeah.
So, Gulaj, what happens is, as I said, the antigen testing can be as quick as literally few minutes, right? Once developed and once launched, once fine. I think that's what I would guess the time frame is going to be in this piece. So it won't be in hours. So the elegance of that is, Gulaj, you can be standing in the line to get, or before you get into the line to get your boarding card, a pinprick or saliva or anything, whatever the companies will finally develop and do that. Within a few minutes, you can get that. So that is something that will be a part of your steady flow of life to make this happen.
Uma's asking, Uma Agarwal, I'm shifting to Mumbai soon. Want to know when will we have enough kids to be tested at own will as a preventive measure?
Excellent question. So, Uba, that's what, if you really think about it, today the PCR is more, they'll be lab driven. For instance, in India, I don't know, maybe someone like a La lab or, one of the labs can come home, take to it, but you say, well, that still takes time. It's a bit inconvenient. So as you can see, going forward, more and more companies will launch this product where you've seen this typical home pregnancy kits. It'll be just like that. You can buy quite a few of them, keep it. so you can do the test for yourself and your family. I think that's a direction the world is moving towards, and I do believe they'll happen sooner than later.
Thank you, Tejinder. And for our audience, again, do forward this to someone whom you can think will benefit. And if you love today's talk, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such information. Coming back to you, Tejinder, my last question. You are adventurous, you are gutsy, and you're always all in for fun. I want to share here that we've been playing poker together for a long time now, and he's quite a shark at the poker table. And how much do you get to practice it now? I know you manage to take away my money most times. Why do you do that?
I don't
And
think
how
so.
much do you get to practice?
I, I generally enjoy poker too, but again, I enjoy only playing with friends. Actually, because I find this game intriguing. It's fun, but I think it is one of the best way to interact socially. Right? Of course, again, world has changed with COVID and so on. But as you're aware, this it allows you interaction almost a few different levels. Social level, yet you're challenging each other. I'm not sure when I ever took your money, but I'm pretty sure you're confusing me with somebody else because I don't think so anyone's taken money from you. But yes, this is something I enjoy, look forward to, and of course, just like so many things, this is also moving more and more online these days. Truly enjoy this.
So, thank you, Rohit, Nanda, and Amri, for your kind words. Bani, thank you very much. A big thank you for your precious time, Tajinder. It was definitely an enlightening session, and I hope international travel starts soon and you and your family are able to come back together and have fun with us. It's been a long, long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And
Thanks a lot.
And for everybody, our next session will be next Friday, 6 p.m. We shall be in conversation with Mrs. Nisha Dua, a cyber safety coach who's focused on mentoring people to use the power of internet safely and smartly. Our topic will be digital world parenting. Thank you, everybody, for your precious time and for coming and watching In Conversation. Good evening.
Thank you. Bye bye.